What's going on, everybody? This Afro think tank. So the late ayatollah of Iran is having his funeral, and everybody and their mommy and daddies came out. Okay, which is flying in the face of the propaganda that the current right-wing racist administration, who is a puppet of the Israeli government and corporations, has stated. Right, that apparently, remember when they said before they started bombing them, it was like 30,000 protesters were killed by the Iranian government, but yet produced zero proof. And you would think if 30,000 people got killed, there would be some kind of video evidence, but never kind of popped up, right? And the moving and ever evolving narrative of why America is involved in Iran, we all know it's just Europeans once again interfering and being in other people's businesses and not wanting anyone else to progress, right? Because Iran stated it's religious and political policy not to produce weapons, but they are in fact living in an area where they could use nuclear energy, just like everybody else could use nuclear energy, right, to get off the need for, oil and natural gases and things like that. As the future is headed towards nuclear energy, hydrogen energy, renewable energy, like that's the future, all right? But big oil don't like that, right? So this funeral, which is massive, I mean, they got like between 8 and 11 million people all came out for this funeral. That's a lot. People don't just go to funerals to people they don't like. All right, now I'm pretty sure he was harsh in certain aspects, based off their perspective of life. I've never heard of a leader ever not being considered the devil or demon by at least one or two groups of people who, obvious ideological or cultural differences are different from them. Like, we don't live in, there's no perfect world out there. There's no perfect leader. There's no perfect government. There's no perfect anybody. All right. But hey, proof's in the pudding. They are showing up and showing out for this man. So there's a lot of people who love this man. And Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu murdered him for no reason. They had, for all intents and purposes, as far as Iran is concerned, one of the head of states, even though it was a religious portion, right? But it was murder. It was murder. That's what happened, right? So but I'm not naive. I'm not naive to not know that the Ayatollah has also ordered the murder of many people. All right, I don't agree with the way they live culturally, but it's not my culture to change, right? It's their culture to change. As the Persians, not Arabs, but Persians. Okay, give respect where respect is due, right? But yeah, massive funeral. I mean, can you imagine the traffic? Like the commitment to go out there with that many people to show your solidarity and your care and your love and respect for an individual. It says a lot. It's a lot, right? So anyways, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn some, teach some. I'm out.
These are massive crowds that have turned out here, and we're right in the middle of thousands of people who have come to commemorate Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. If we pan around this way, then you'll be able to see that there's a stage over there with the caskets of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, as well as several of his family members, who of course were killed in the early stages of that US-Israeli bombing campaign in a massive airstrike on February 28th. Now, we've been speaking to some of the people here. You can hear that they are chanting, they're praying, but many of them are also in tears and grieving. And some people have told us that they just want to express their sadness, but others also say they're still downright angry at the United States and President Donald Trump.
I assure you that we will not let you have a good night's sleep from now on unless we get revenge for the blood of our leader.
He was a father to me. I even loved him more than my father. It's as if I lost my father again.
So you can hear the people chanting here in the crowd. You also heard some of the folks that spoke to us a little earlier. The Iranian authorities believe that the ceremonies that are taking place over the next couple of days could be the largest such ceremonies in the history of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Again, the bodies are going to lie in state here. Then there's going to be a big funeral procession in Tehran, but it's all going to end in Mashhad, one of the holiest cities of Shia Islam, where the body of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei will be brought to its final resting place.
Iranians today poured into the streets of Tehran to honor their Ayatollah and Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, assassinated by the U.S. and Israel 4 months ago at the start of the war.
And right there in the truck is the body of the late Supreme Leader. There are millions of people gathered in Tehran. Organizers say this could be one of the biggest public funerals in modern history. It is also a political display, a way for the government to show that it is still in charge, that it has popularity, that it has successfully passed power from one generation to the next, from the late Supreme Leader to his son, who has not been seen so far at these festivities.
Security was tight. Many of the roads in the Iranian capital city of 10 million were blocked. Not all Iranians support the government. This country is deeply divided. But today, at least, there were no voices of opposition. Only massive, passionate displays of loyalty, grief, and anger.
Iran is preparing to bury its supreme leader in what's projected to become the largest funeral in history. A 7-day procession is making its way across Iran and Iraq. Leaders from around the world are attending, and millions are expected to line the streets, all for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed on February 28th by a US-Israeli strike on the first day of their war on Iran. Today, more than 4 months later, the war has been halted, and Iran is finally able to bury him. The last time they buried their supreme leader, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, in 1989, more than 10 million mourners gathered. Attendance for Khamenei's funeral is expected to double that. This is where it begins, Tehran, with the arrival of foreign leaders. Then the public will be able to pay their respects at Tehran's Grand Musalla, where Khamenei's body will lie in state. The coffin will be carried through the streets of the capital before heading to the holy city of Qom, the Center Shia Islamic Scholarship, where ceremonies will continue with religious leaders. Then the procession travels to the holy cities of Karbala and Najaf in Iraq. And on the final day, Khamenei will be buried at the Imam Riza Shrine in Mashhad, the city of his birth. Earlier on Friday, the coffin was placed in the Grand Musalla, alongside the coffins of his family members who were killed in the same attack, including his 14-month-old granddaughter. One major question: would his son Mujtaba Khamenei show up? Iran's new supreme leader has been absent from the public eye since the attack. Friday was no different. Nowhere to be seen as senior Iranian leaders and clerics paid their respects. They were followed by foreign delegations, among them Qatar's Shura Council Speaker Hassan bin Abdullah Al Ghanem, Russia's envoy Dmitry Medvedev, China's senior parliamentary representative He Wei, and Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Iran-aligned groups and Palestinian factions were also in attendance, with perhaps the most emotional farewell coming from Hezbollah officials, who were reportedly joined by members of Hassan Nasrallah's family. As expected, and despite having diplomatic ties with Iran, most European countries did not send a representative. The funeral will continue for several more days, even crossing borders. Stay with us at Al Jazeera as we take you through what's expected to be a historic event in Iran's history.
One of the largest funerals in human history. This is the result of democracy. This is American exceptionalism. This is the oppressor's vision of peace. The Bible says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, the conquistador, the pilgrim, the colonizer, the oppressor, the white man, the wicked who run the earth. And when the wicked bears rule, the people mourn. Christ is returning to bring new leadership into the earth. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indigenous people, the time to gather together is now.
क़यादत आपकी हमको मिलेगी फिर कहाँ रहबर अभी बेदार होता जा रहा था ये जहां रहबर क़यादत आपकी हमको मिलेगी फिर कहाँ रहबर अभी बेदार होता जा रहा था ये जहां रहबर قتلوا في سبيل
با پیکر مطهر رهبر عظیم الشأن امت اسلامی
صدق الله العلي
Israel and America are looking like fools today as 9 million people have attended Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral in Tehran. Leaders and representatives from all across the world and over 9 million people were in Tehran for the funeral gathering. People all over the globe coming together against Israel. This is the proven turning point of history as the world is coming together in one monumental funeral to honor the man who fought against Israel. Despite telling us that Iran hated this man, despite telling us that the Iranians needed saving through some weird bombing campaign, 9 million Iranians from all across the world came to support him. And it wasn't just Khamenei who was honored, it was also his grandchild in a small coffin, who was killed on the opening strike of the war by an Israeli airstrike. It cannot be overstated what this means for the world. Everyone from every continent, every religion, and every background coming together against Israel and in honor of Ayatollah Khamenei.
Grief on the streets of Tehran this morning as a coffin carried the body of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei through the capital. The 86-year-old supreme leader was assassinated by the US and Israel on February 28th in the opening strike of the war they launched on Iran. 3 of Khamenei's sons appeared at his side, but his successor, his son Moshtaba, now Iran's new supreme leader, has still not been seen in public, believed to be seriously injured in the same attack that killed his father. One religious poet captured the raw anger in the crowd, swearing revenge to assassinate President Trump. The crowd's response, death to America. But behind the mourning lies a darker legacy. Over Khamenei's 4 decades in power, thousands of political prisoners and protesters have been killed in crackdowns. A UN panel has linked his government to crimes against humanity. A country in the midst of a funeral for the ages, finally sending off Ayatollah Ali Khamenei for burial more than 4 months after his death.